You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Bold and the Beautiful fans, we've got some sizzling new spoilers for next week. We're going to see Steffy having a very strong reaction to Liam's death sentence, some huge guest stars for the latest Forrester Creations fashion show, and another big and heated showdown between Taylor and Brooke. It's Belinda from Soap Dirt, and we have got so much to talk about for the week of April 21st. But before we get into it, please click subscribe if you're not already following us. All right, so as this past week on Bold and the Beautiful closed out, we saw Liam check himself out of the hospital. And I had somebody here asking in the comments, why didn't they stop them? Why did they let that happen? That's called AMA, Against Medical Advice. Anybody who's in the hospital, unless you are also under arrest, you can get up and walk out. Even if the doctors say you shouldn't go, unless they have a court order to stop you, you can walk out. Even if it's a bad idea, even if they know you're going to walk out the door and just drop dead. You can absolutely walk out. So yes, Liam could do what he did. People do it. It's not that smart, but it happens. Of course, Dr. Grace Buckingham and Dr. Bridget Forrester tried to stop him. They were pleading with Liam to stay, but it was absolutely no use. He was determined that he was not going to miss Kelly Spencer's daddy-daughter dance. And when Finn got up to the hospital, Grace and Bridget told Finn the shocking news about Liam's latest scans. So Finn was stunned to learn that Liam has a large mass in his brain, and it is inoperable and fatal. So the brain bleed, as I've mentioned a couple of times, was not the cause of Liam's issues, but a symptom of an underlying issue that hadn't been diagnosed yet. And obviously that has alarmed Finn, Grace, and Bridget. The dizziness and the blurred vision he had at Bill's are because Liam's got a big old lump in his brain, a tumor, and he is dying from it. So Finn is completely shocked. And on Friday, he kept trying to call and message Liam to let him know that something's wrong and to get him back up there. But after Finn made several attempts and didn't get an answer from Liam, he switched over to texting Steffy and told her the sad news about Liam's diagnosis. Now, I'm pretty sure that Finn broke HIPAA privacy laws by letting her know about the bombshell in Liam's brain. However, I will defend him and say that if Steffi is Liam's emergency contact, maybe he had signed one of the HIPAA release forms. Like you guys probably have done this. I signed one so that my doctor can tell my husband anything about my test results or anything. It's fairly common. So that all happened right as Steffi was playing music to kind of set up a little home situation because Liam was dancing with Kelly. That's because Liam got there too late to take Kelly to her dance. So Liam was really struggling to stay upright. I said I thought he might keel over at the dance. They didn't even make it to the dance, and he's looking pretty bad. We'll see if he actually keels completely over on Monday's episode, but he tried to make it look like a dance move, but he is barely staying upright. So next week on Bold and the Beautiful, Finn gets back home to the Malibu beach house, and he's talking to Steffi, and his wife is in tears. So clearly Liam's not in the room when Finn gives Steffi the scary details from Liam's latest scans. And she is obviously just distraught. And of course, Steffi's stunned also because she thought Liam was doing better. The last time Steffi visited him at the hospital, she was hearing that things were improving and they looked promising. That's what Finn thought too, but they also had all been told that they were waiting on the latest scans and some more test results. And of course, they have this neurological team working on the case that we don't get to see. And these scans were really dire, and they are a death sentence for Liam. So Steffi tells Finn she thinks Liam needs to hear this terrible news from her, but normally it should come from a doctor because, you know, it's medical information, but it looks like Steffi is going to be the one to break it to him. Liam listens, and after Steffi breaks the news, well, Liam says he's not going to accept this death sentence. Now, I will say I feel very strongly Bold and the Beautiful is not going to kill off Liam. Not unless Scott Clifton has just decided he's quitting the show. I don't see it happening. And I want to address something else in the comments real quick. I've seen a few people insisting that Scott Clifton just signed a new multi-year contract, and so did Don Diamont. When I saw the comments, I was playing catch up because I've been out of town for a week, and I kind of took it at face value because I know they're not going to kill Liam off anyway. But since I started looking around, I saw it in comments here, and then I saw a couple of things about it on Soap's social media, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to verify this, and, well, it's not true. So there's an old 2023 story from Soap's In Depth about those two getting new contracts, Don Diamont and Scott Clifton, but it's being passed around like it's brand new. What's weird about Soaps In Depth, it's either Soaps In Depth or Soaps.com. I'm trying to remember which one. Their programming is really kind of crappy. And on their older stories, the programming has broken down and it doesn't show the date of the story. So people sometimes trip over old stuff and they don't see a date on it and they assume that it's new when it is not. Because I thought it seemed pretty weird that B&B would confirm a multi-year contract during a death sentence story. So yeah, that's clickbait stuff that is being based on old stuff that's outdated and is being misinterpreted. It's not the first time it's happened. So obviously they want us to think Liam's really going to die. There's probably going to be an 11th hour miracle cure that saves him, similar to what went on with Eric. You know, Bridget and Finn found a cure for Eric. So those two and Grace and the neuro team probably are going to find some experimental procedure to try on Liam that saves the day. In the meantime, word spreads, and Steffy, Finn and his doctors, of course, are still stuck keeping the secret, but everybody's going to be horrified to hear Liam is dying. But despite all the sadness, next week on Bold and the Beautiful, Steffy has to put on her business face and schmooze with special guests at a Forrester Creations fashion show. They've got celebrity guests Heidi, Montag, and Spencer Pratt on there, reality stars, and she's a pop star now. And she says it's good to see them. We're also going to see social media influencer Markel Washington at the show. Backstage, Eric is telling Ridge and Christine Williams, who is there on a crossover from Young and the Restless, about how the show is going to bring a little mystery and a little magic. And then there's major backstage drama. Taylor has another intense confrontation with Brooke in the dressing room of the fashion show. Things get heated. Taylor slams the door and shuts Brooke into a room with her. She looks very annoyed with Taylor, and Brooke is in another robe, kind of like she was the other day in the CEO office. So we'll see if Taylor's mad because Brooke's trying to sneak up on Ridge in her undies again. Or, you know, maybe it's more innocent and Brooke is going to be on the catwalk in a Brooke's bedroom design. The designs I saw on the catwalk in the promo, though, look like couture gowns, the ones that Ridge designed. So we'll see. Bold and the Beautiful gets pretty dim, dark, and sad next week when Liam gets this crushing news. Taylor, of course, is cornering Brooke and Steffi's breaking down. Special guest, all that stuff. And Sweeps kicks off Thursday, April 24th. So big action from then till deep into May, almost to the end of the month. And don't miss our complete weekly spoilers video tomorrow. That's going to be everything coming the week of April 21st through the 25th.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.